In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his servant and messenger. And welcome to another edition of JAKQ Brothers Presents Let Us Make Man. I am Brother Jackie Muhammad. I will be your moderator for tonight. We have an exciting show. We have a special guest on deck, our brother, student minister, Jamil Muhammad. He is here. He has made his appearance, and we look forward to speaking with our brother. But before we get to our brother, I would like to introduce those famous JAKQ brothers.
Right.
I am the J of the JAKQ brothers. That stands for Jackie. It's an acronym for the brotherhood that we're striving to put together, the brotherhood that we're striving to be an example for other brothers, to inspire our community to link up and form coalitions throughout the United States of America. So since I'm the J, let's introduce our brother who is the A of the JAKQ brothers, Brother Ahmed. Introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. A stands for accurate. A stands for Yes, sir. My name is Brother Ahmed. We'd like to thank all of you all for joining on with us, taking time out of your busy schedules. I'm pretty sure you will enjoy the show today, for I enjoy it every week. Thank you all for joining on. Back to you, Brother Jackie.
Yes, sir. That's right. He is the A. A also stands for awesome. That's the white boy term. But praise be to Allah. A stands for Allah too, brother. Hey.
Oh, whoa.
Yes, sir. Well, look, let's introduce our next brother, man. He is the K of the JAKQ brothers. The K. Go ahead, Brother Kadeem. Introduce yourself, soldier.
My name is Brother Kadeem Amir Muhammad, and listen, welcome to another edition of JAKQ Brothers Present. I thought I was doing the commercial, so I really got thrown off, and I thought I was going to be last, but brother just went in order of the name. But listen, this Tuesday night, man, this is what we do. It's JAKQ Brothers time. You ain't got nothing to do on a Tuesday night, so you should tune in. And for those of you who are listening, tell your friends, tune in. JAKQ Brothers are on. Tune in. The JAKQ Brothers are on, and they got Brother Jamil Muhammad.
That's right.
That's right. Well, look, let's slide on down to the Q's. We're not talking about the Q's. We talking about Brother Kawi, the Q. Assalamu alaikum, soldier. Introduce yourself, sir.
Wa alaikum salam, soldier. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the JAKQ Brothers Presents Let Us Make Man. I'm excited about this particular show with our brother Jamil Muhammad. I'm the only one that didn't soldier up under you, brother. But I heard so many great stories about you, so I get to actually talk to a living legend. And I hope you enjoy this show as much as I will enjoy this show. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Look here, Brother Kadeem, is there anything else we want to I guess know, or are we good?
No, brother, what we want to know, everybody that's watching our show live via YouTube, if you have any questions, you can ask your questions in the chat on YouTube, and all of those questions would appear right here on our platform. For those of you on our various Facebook pages, we'll try to monitor those as we're watching the show. We may not always be able to monitor those, but you can ask your questions also on the various Facebook pages. And if we can get to your question, we would also ask your question of our dear brother Minister Jamil. Also, soon, Brother Jackie gonna have it scrolling at the bottom of the screen. We ask every single one of you to support our show by donating to our Cash App. It's coming. Brother Jackie's gonna put it there in a minute. Donate to the JAKQ Brothers Cash App. Just go to $ Cash Bros, $ Cash Bros to show your love and show your support for the JAKQ Brothers. See, there it is. I told you, $ JAKQ Bros. Also, I want to go back to those on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. We want you to subscribe, we want you to like, and we want you to share, whether you are on YouTube or whether you are on Facebook. I'm done, brother. Let's get busy.
Let's get busy then. You see how important a teleprompter is? My brother said Cash Bros. We Cash Money Record right here. Okay, thank you, my brother. Well, look, I would like to present to some and introduce to others, man, our big brother who has hailed from Cincinnati, Ohio, born and raised. Mr. Muhammad, involved in the watershed historic events of the last 30 years, particularly as a top assistant to the Nation of Islam leader, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Our brother Jamil Muhammad.
I know it's coming. It's Farrakhan.
Farrakhan.
No. Just the far.
Far.
It's not.
Now,
face.
Jackie, I know I wasn't trying to mess with you, but I guarantee you that we who are with him, we got to say his name right. And I'll tell you why. Because the people who don't like the minister mock him by mispronouncing his name and taking advantage of the fact that it's unusual to the ear of the Negro. So his name is Farrakhan, like far out front, far ahead, far beyond.
Yes, sir.
Farrakhan.
Yes, sir.
So we have to practice that because that's the thing that really makes it good. And as beautiful a job as the JAKQ Brothers show is, we got to say that. So I know it's regional speech and all that. I know, but
okay,
say Farrakhan. There's something got in my throat. That's all. That's all that happened, Brother Kadima.
All right, I need that brother who's on the mute button. Let him introduce my introduction. Praise be to Allah. Thank you, Brother Jamil, for that correction. We at the JAKQ Brothers definitely accept correction here. And we definitely want to say our minister's name correctly. Farrakhan. Praise be to Allah. Thank you, Brother Minister Jamil. So our brother Jamil has traveled and worked on behalf of the nation throughout the United States, Canada, Caribbean, Ghana, West Africa as well. He's a hard-driving community organizer. He served as a pioneering Nation of Islam leader in different cities, diverse cities like New Orleans, Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Atlanta. In his capacity as national spokesman for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Minister Jamil Farrakhan.
Oh, okay.
Did I say
something was in my ear? Go ahead. No, it's okay.
Farrakhan. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Farrakhan. Praise be to Allah. Has a meaningful and productive dialogue with many America's key opinion makers on all sides of all issues. Mr. Muhammad also appeared on CNN's Black in America 2 in his role as program director of the Wedded Bliss Foundation, a nonprofit mission to promote Black marriages. As the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us, marriage is the cornerstone of nation. Praise be to Allah. And he served in that capacity for 12 years. So our brother, your brother, has embraced our show tonight. So let's introduce to many and present to everybody our brother, your brother, student minister, Jamil Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam, brothers. And alaikum salam to everybody in the audience. And if you checking in, I want to thank you, brothers, for your warm welcome and for what you do. I've had a chance to observe your program on a couple of other occasions. This is great. The conversation is roundtable. Nothing is barred from conversation, but every conversation leads back to civilization and progress for the Black man and woman. So I'm very, very glad to hear this program, and to be a part of it is an honor beyond what I've imagined. So thank you very much for having me.
Well, we thank you for embracing us, dear brother. So let's go to the beginning, if you will. Born and reared in Cincinnati. Now, is it true? It came across the teleprompter somewhere around here that you are an original member of the Ohio Players?
Well, there's a spelling discrepancy right there. Because of people like myself and Minister Van Muhammad, Minister Salih Muhammad, Minister Donnell, Minister Richard, Brother Darrell down in Cincinnati, brothers up in Dayton, in Toledo, Brother Charles. They often render it as the Ohio Players, but it's actually, if you look at it, it's the Ohio Prayers. We are the brothers who pray to Allah throughout the great state of Ohio for the Black man and woman's rise. You know, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad referred to Ohio. He used to call it my plum, because before the rise of California in the latter years of what's called the first resurrection or the first dispensation of Islam under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, there were more chartered mosques in Ohio than there were in any other place in the nation. So Ohio goes all the way from mosque number 5 in Cincinnati, all the way up to mosque number 91 in Toledo, Ohio, and scattered throughout those numbers are mosques that dot the landscape in Ohio. So Dayton and Cleveland and Toledo and Springfield and Columbus and Akron and all those other cities, they have those mosques because Ohio is an interesting state. It really is. People came from the South, the Mid-South, Tennessee, Northern Alabama, parts of Mississippi. Not too many. Most Mississippians went to Chicago. Some people from Georgia. My people came from Kentucky, right? And they came to Cincinnati, and that was the big city to which they migrated. Now, when they got there, they found that they were not up north, they were up south. It was the same thing as it was down south: racism, bigotry, hatred, police brutality. And so it formed hard knock communities that my daughter called us. She said, Daddy, you from Ohio? I said, yes, honey. She said, well, you know what that means? I said, no. She said, that means you Getry. I said, what do you call me? She said, half ghetto and half country. That's what it is, Getry. So thank you, Camilla, for that word. And that's what happened with their early life. So Cincinnati and Dayton and those other places formed these kinds of Black communities that tended to be hard knuckle, resilient, and they loved the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I got that early in my life.
Oh, praise be to Allah. Well, Ohio, if you study the history, the state itself, it was a gangster state, correct? It was a lot of gangster activity going on, bombs and different things. How much effect did that have on you growing up, or if it had any effect or anything?
It didn't have any effect on us. We were firmly and securely ensconced in a Black community that was the beneficiary of being separated from whites, even if we were the victim of being segregated by whites. Segregation, that condition imposed on an inferior by a superior against the will of the inferior, segregation caused problems in Cincinnati like it did in every other city. But separation produced benefits for us. We were able to create strong institutions and to see strong leadership and to have opportunities, particularly in the Black church and other organizations that served our people. We were able to have strong community life there. So we did. The gangster life in the state of Ohio, and I would defer to Minister Rodney from Philadelphia, who is the gangsterologist of all gangster. He knows all that stuff. But in Ohio, the main mafia activity and that sort of thing was controlled out of Cleveland. The Mayfield Road Gang under Mo Dalitz and the other Jewish gangsters of Cleveland, they controlled aspects of the underworld in Cincinnati, but Cincinnati was one of the German triangle cities. I'm gonna be brief with this, but it's fascinating to me. One of the cities that there are three main cities where German immigrants settled when they came to the United States. One was Cincinnati, the other one was Milwaukee, and the other one was St. Louis. And these three cities, not coincidentally, became known as the largest brewery towns, right? Germans like their beer.
Right.
So Milwaukee has Miller, St. Louis has Anheuser-Busch, and Cincinnati, up until recently, had a number of local breweries which dominated their region of the country. They've all since been bought up by the big boys. But the German triangle kept it a very, very moralistic kind of a puritanical, I should say, society. So Cincinnati, you didn't have things like open prostitution, open drinking, open none of that. They took that over to Northern Kentucky, and then they were controlled by the Cleveland boys who made the money right there. So Cincinnatians go across the bridge to get loose, but when they came back across into the city, they better have their stuff tight. That's how it was. So it was an interesting city to grow up in because it was very, very rigidly segregated. We understood if we crossed certain streets, we had to knuck it up. And if they came on our side, they're going to get a little bit of it too. So that was the way it was. And that was just like every other segregated big city in the Midwest at that time.
So were you raised Muslim? Did your parents accept the teachings?
My parents, interestingly enough, never registered as members of the Nation of Islam. But when my brother, the great Dr. Jared Ball, who teaches there at Morgan State University in Baltimore, was working with a group of students at NYU in New York, they found the first 62 pages of my father's Freedom of Information Act files that the FBI had taken from their surveillance of our father. My father was the Cincinnati chairman of the organization called CORE, the Congress on Racial Equality. And then he became the chairman of the Cincinnati chapter of SNCC, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, which later became the Student National Coordinating Committee. And as such, my father had close working relationships with some of the major names in the so-called Black Power movement of the day, H. Rap Brown and Stokely Carmichael, etc. So they would come in and out of our house, Nikki Giovanni. These are people that I met as a little boy. So we knew we were going to be Black. We knew that. But we found out after my father, his files were discovered in 2014, that unbeknownst to us, because he didn't make a big deal of it, but my father was a frequent guest speaker at Muslim rallies in the Midwest, in Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Louisville, Columbus. He would go and represent the Black Power movement and the solidarity aspect of it. But my father was a person who was determined to live life his own way, so he wasn't about to accept no restrictive law.
Yes.
And so, but my father was a dedicated soldier for the freedom of our people, and so was my mother. And so we were always raised that way. I came to the nation. I was the first member of my family to accept Islam. And that happened when I was 9 years old at Mosque number 5 in Cincinnati, Ohio. The great Brother Wilbur E.X. Berry, may Allah forever be pleased with Brother Wilbur. He's the brother who brought me to the mosque. And I accepted that first day under the teaching of Minister David Bacha. Minister David Bacha, who was a prosecuting attorney by profession and could teach that Islam. He was teaching a subject called the Black Man's History. Man, you talking about clean and sharp. I'd never seen nothing like the Muslim brothers. They looked to me at that time like you all look on this broadcast tonight, sharp and clean and civilized. And I mean, just I wanted to be one.
Come on, man.
And I saw the brothers, the FY uniforms were relatively new then. They had just come out. And don't be trying to clock. Look at y'all measuring time. Let me see how long. How old is it?
No, brother. No, brother. This is a conversation, brother. We
Nah, he's talking about clocking time on his age.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
The brothers are standing posts like this with their arms up here, folded across their chest. It was before they started holding their hands down and clasping them in front of their body. And I saw those blue uniforms and I saw those Christian soldiers. I said, I got to be a part of this. And I remember coming in the door and being checked. And I thought that was unusual. But I went on in the check room. And after I came through check, they said, line up over there with the juniors. Now, I didn't know what that meant. But you know what I did?
You lined up
over there with the juniors.
Come on. That's right.
I fell in with the young brothers my age. And so then they said, okay, junior FOI, fall in, take your seats. So you know what I did?
Fell in, took
the seat. When the brothers got to the door, they stopped. And I thought this was unusual. I didn't know what was happening. But they stopped at the door of the sanctuary of the mosque and they saluted. I didn't understand. I didn't see a person standing there that they were saluting. So when I got to the door, guess what I did? You know what I did?
Saluted.
Come on, man. Fell in and went in and got my seat. And as I took the seat that day, brother, I had never heard nothing like that in my life. I didn't know all of Islam, but I knew that what I heard taught that day was true. I knew that Mr. Muhammad was teaching the truth. And so I said, well, ain't nothing I can do but stand up.
Yeah,
so that's what I did. I stood up for the truth, and I'm glad I did. That was in 1969.
Praise God. I have a question.
Yes.
If I can. I'm familiar. You shared that story with me way back in the day, calculating time. But I remember, and you could correct me, that you shared that you had to sneak to the mosque. And so, how did you sneak? Because you had already you fell in love, you accepted this. How did you sneak to the mosque as a 9 and 10-year-old and your parents not know you're going to the mosque?
Well, here's the thing. At that point, my father was living in Washington, D.C., and we were living in Cincinnati with my mother. They had split up when I was 8 years old. And according to the FBI files, my father actually left town on March the 2nd, 1968. That's how close they were. Those devils was in my father's business, snooping and snooping and looking. Man, Anyway, don't get me started on that.
Come on, man.
So I go to the mosque in 69, and as I go to the temple to hear the teachings, I accepted, and I brought home the permission slip that first day for my mom to sign for me to be processed into the junior FOI. I couldn't get an X because I was too young, but I was a permission slip.
Come on now.
My mother looked at it and she said, "Boy, they don't believe in Jesus." And she tore the thing up right in front of my face, broke my heart. So I thought about, man, what I'm going to do. That next week when Brother Wilbur came around to the house to sell the paper and the Daly's juice and to eat bread, and later on we had the whiting H&G fish in the aqua and orange boxes and the 5-pound slabs of frozen. Anyway, so he came around to the door, knocked on the door. I said, "Brother Wilbur, I got to make it to the temple." He said, "Okay, I'll take you. Are you going to the temple?" I said, "Well, Mom don't really know I'm going to the temple." He paused for a minute, looked. He said, "I don't know. You should tell your mother you're going to the temple. It's not like you're going somewhere bad. We're not going to teach you how to shoot crap over there. We at the temple." I said, "Okay, I'll handle it." Next Sunday, he shows up. I'm watching for him. I run out the house with my play clothes on. Sneakers, red ball jets or whatever they were. PF.
Right.
Red ball jets.
Wasn't no Converse. I hadn't got that far yet. Yeah.
Come on, man.
I ran out the house, man, with my play clothes on and my suit and stuff in a bag. I hop in the car. He's like, "What? Where you going?" I said, "I'm going to the mall." I start putting on my stuff, getting my little stuff together in the back seat of the car. He said, "Man, did you sneak out the house?"
Come on, man.
Oh, man, he let me have it that day. But
yes,
Brother
sir.
Wilbur was such a good fisherman. He was stopping to pick up other guests. And I don't know how he got us all there. The first time we went, we was in a little powder blue Volkswagen Beetle.
My uncle had one of those.
He was fishing in that thing, boy. Fishing.
Yes, sir.
And we were going all over in the city and coming to the mosque, which was at 1063 West North Bend Road.
Yes,
in the College Hill section of Cincinnati. And boy, let me tell you, Minister Dave was teaching. Man, I never seen anything, but Brother Kadeem, I know your question was.
No, you good.
But, brother,
man, we love the history.
When I got there, I had never seen. My mother was a fastidious, beautiful, sharp housekeeper. Beautiful.
Yes, sir.
But I'd never been in a place as clean as the mosque. I'd never seen anything like that in my life. The floors looked like they were wet. And later, when I read the Holy Quran's account of the Queen of Sheba going to visit Solomon.
Yes, sir.
Right? And then being ushered into the royal court of Solomon and seeing the polished shine of the marble floors. And she thought it was water. She said, "What is this expanse? I can't pass this expanse." They said, "It's not water. That's how this man is living."
Pretty much.
It was so clean. It was so beautiful. Brother, I walked in. I smelled bean pie for the whole day. I had never tasted. No, I had tasted bean. I think that time I had tasted bean pie. But the bean pie was bacon in the kitchen, and the fish sandwiches and the brotherhood and the brothers in.
You got muted.
You muted, Brother Minister.
Can you hear me now?
There you go. You back.
Okay, yeah. People always call you once you get on here. They start calling your phone. It's like
go back to the fish sandwiches.
Man, the fish but really in Cincinnati, we was, I told you what kind of city we were. We didn't really have fish sandwiches. We had fish sandwiches. The sandwich was a little thicker, and it had, it was a man, and the Muslim brotherhood was so beautiful. I love those little brothers, and many of them that I was friends with back then, I'm still friends with. Those of us who survived.
Wow.
The brother captain of the mosque, Brother Perry, may Allah be pleased with Brother Perry, his family, he and his wife, Sister Yvonne, they lived in North Avondale, which was the neighborhood I lived in, and we would cut home from school across their yard before we knew who they were, And Sister Yvonne would come out the house. Y'all better get off my yard, stepping on my grass. Woo! And she was rough. But I was friends with her son, Derek. And now, Derek and Danny and Stephanie and Kimberly and Monica and all of them. So they're in the nation. So those are friends all my life.
Yes,
the great brother Captain Timothy Muhammad.
Timothy?
Oh, no, not that brother Timothy. I'm talking about the brother Timothy from Cincinnati
Yes, sir.
Who was the pioneer, along with Dr. Donald Shabazz, who was the minister. They went from number 5 and opened up and established Mosque number 61 in Grand Rapids.
Praise.
So they were pioneers. And Captain Tim, he had, I think, 6 daughters and 1 son. And they were juniors in the FOI and MGT. And and they're still Muslims today, still beautiful, still working, still pushing, still striving. So there was a community there. It wasn't a big giant mosque like New York or Philadelphia, Detroit, but it was a smaller mosque, but it was full of people filled with the enthusiasm.
Right.
Yes,
The
sir.
Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The nation,
Yes,
going fast forward, Brother Jackie, the nation goes through a transition in 75 with the departure of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And me, I, never having been registered, but still feeling the pangs of loss of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I remember the photograph that I had on the wall in my bedroom was this picture. It was this one that was in color, though.
Yes, sir.
And I had a big picture of that on my wall. And my wall must have been very strange because I had like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I had H. Rap Brown, right? I had Stokely, right? Then I also had Oscar Robertson and Pete Rose. And,
Right.
I was a regular, Cincinnati kid. So, but this picture, I remember, burned into my consciousness. And in 1975, even though I wasn't coming out to the mosque and I lived like any other high school boy would live, I did all the same things everybody else did, played sports and chased girls and skipped class and did all that stuff I had to do. But when I heard that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was rebuilding the nation, it's a no-brainer.
There it is.
Okay.
So
There it is.
ever since September the 27th, 1978, I've been striving to walk with him. I can't say I've been walking with him because sometimes he get ahead of me. I'll be hustling, trying to close that gap. It's like that old commercial that used to be on TV, the dog food, kibbles and bits.
Right.
The little bitty dog, kibbles and bits. I mean, give me some kibbles.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Trying to catch up, keep the gap closed.
Right.
But the minister, since that time, I've been blessed because my mother was a devout Christian and she would pray, "Oh, dear God, I want my children to walk with Jesus."
Come on now. God answer prayers, don't he?
Prayer was answered.
That's right.
It wasn't in the way that she may have expected back in the day, but before my mother passed from this realm and before she transitioned, a short number of hours before she died, she was in her hospital bed. And my dear beloved brother-in-law, Brother Student Minister Abdul Sharif Muhammad, arranged a phone call with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan where he would talk to our family while we were around Mother's bed. And he talked to us and talked to Mother, and he said, "Sister May, would you mind praying with me?" She said, "No, Brother Minister." So he prayed, and while he was praying, before they started praying, they was joking. The minister's something else. He said, "Shoot, girl, you old, I'm old. You might as well hang out with me. Let's be old together. Come on."
Right.
And they would laugh. This was in 2014, in the month of May. And as the minister was praying, my mother was saying, "Oh, I love you, Brother Minister. Oh, I thank you, Brother Minister. I thank Allah for you." Now, here's the Christian woman thanking Allah for Minister Farrakhan, and he is praying, making it easy for her to transition.
Yes.
Wow. Just as he did with Dick Gregory, he made it easy for Dick Gregory. You heard the story.
Yes, sir.
To transition from this realm. He had something from Allah that he shared with the people of Allah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
To bring them closer to Allah in the hour of trial and difficulty. Don't ever take the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for short.
That's right.
Don't ever take him for
short. Don't play with him.
Don't ever
play with him.
No.
Yes, sir.
Ever think that man is a normal man. Now, he's not somebody who's superhuman. He's human like we. But he has developed into the most divine expression of his humanity.
Yes.
Wow.
That's good teaching. Brother Jamil,
Wow.
the things that you're displaying right now, is what always intrigued me about you is your memory and your attention to detail.
Praise
When I first met you, as you was the regional minister, you came to Orlando where we had a couple problems, and you went around the room and you asked everyone to say what they felt the problem was.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about 30, maybe close to 40 believers in the room, and we all went around the room. You didn't know me, but you asked us to stand up, say our name, and then say what the problem was. Everybody did it. Then after that, you went around the room and you named everyone and the problem that they said they have, and then you gave a solution. But it's just, I was like, how did he remember my name? First of all, how did you remember what the issue was that I said? You know, that always stuck with me that, okay, I need to work on my memory, work on that. From that point, from that meeting, I've been working on memorizing different things and whatnot. So I wanted to point that out to you as well, because you're naming dates back in the 70s, you're naming colors, you're naming, you're so detailed. Okay, now it's 1970. What did you say? 78, 79?
78.
78. You were in what city when you hit?
I was a student at Howard University in Washington.
Oh, right.
Okay, so you're in Washington, D.C. Okay. Now you understand that the minister is teaching you. Do you accept in Washington, D.C., or how does that transit?
Right there.
Okay.
He was speaking that night at Crampton Auditorium, a 1,500-seat auditorium on the campus of the capstone of HBCUs, the Mecca of higher education. There I go with my Howard thing. But anyway, he was speaking at Crampton.
Savannah State? Savannah State? Savannah State or Howard?
Did you say Florida A&M? Okay, yes, sir.
I didn't say Florida A&M and all that. Right? No, I didn't say that. But,
yes, sir.
But the minister was speaking that night, and I had forgotten if I ever remembered that he was coming. But as I was walking across campus toward Georgia Avenue to hop on my bus and go home, I heard applause coming from the open doors of Crampton. And when I looked on the billboard, it said Minister Louis Farrakhan, a plain little white sign with black letters, Minister Louis Farrakhan. I said, oh. So I ran in and I caught the lecture almost from the beginning. And I sat way up in the balcony. And I heard, I'm talking about that, there's not a real balcony there, but there's the higher seats in the back of the room.
Yes, sir.
And I listened and I said, well, I got to help him. After he finished, I came downstairs to see him and ask him what to do. But as I got down to ask him that, I saw the vehicle that he was leaving in driving away. It was just him, his son Joshua, who taped everything at that time, and Minister Abdul Karim Muhammad. Another name you're going to need to remember if you love the history of the nation. And if he were a guest on this program, you'd have some history for real. You think I got history. Minister,
write that down.
From Plainfield, New Jersey.
Yes, sir.
He was one of the early and most strong stalwarts of the Nation of Islam. In fact, Minister Farrakhan said that no other person but Minister Kareem had been more helpful to him in the rebuilding of the nation. No individual but Brother Kareem. So, but a lot of time, I don't know why many people don't know Brother Kareem, but that's who he is. And he's very dear to the minister and very dear to me. Long story short, they were pulling off. I couldn't catch up with them. So I would follow the minister around to various different venues in hopes to see him and ask him what to do. But in the meantime, I started studying and get with other brothers, and we started taking, shaving a little bit, getting a haircut, and trying to put on some decent clothes,
Yeah.
We started trying to get ourselves together. And in April of 1979, he spoke.
Now, are these registered members, or these are just your partners in school or your friends?
My partners, my homies. There were people who, there's one sister, I think of her very fondly, Sister Benatha. Her name was Sister Benatha X. Brundage. She's now Benatha Nelson. And she was from Plainfield, where Minister Kareem was from. And she was a Howard student. I would say, you're going to be a Muslim. She said, no, I ain't. You get that stuff away from me. Now she's a Muslim. So many other brothers and sisters. Brother Sharif, your minister there.
Right.
Brother Sharif, I mean, he's told that story 100 times, but
yes,
I want to hear it from you though. I want to hear your version.
No, it's mine is much simpler than his. I didn't know the impact that all that was having on him. I just know we saw him. He's in the community. He's progressive. He's doing stuff. He was a businessman before he came and registered as an FOI.
Yes,
He
sir.
used to own a whole block full of stores. A laundromat, a grocery store, a record shop, a game room. I mean, all up and down this one block of North Capitol Street in DC. I said, we need to meet him. I said, who owned it? They said, Billy. I said, Billy the kid.
Billy the Kid.
Billy the kid.
Oh,
I said, I got to know this guy.
Billy the Kid.
Wait till we talk to
brother.
No, but let me tell you something. He was an entrepreneur, a hard driving.
Still that.
He had a vision, and I had a vision. I wanted him for Farrakhan.
Come on,
Yes,
man.
sir.
So he's looking. I'm just looking. I'm going down there, and every day I would go stand in the store and talk Islam to him. Me and my brother Marvin X Turner. May Allah always bless that brother. He's still living. Marvin.
Yes, sir.
But we would go down and we'd stand there in the store and talk Islam. And and Sharif would say, y'all got to buy something. Damn. So we'd buy 2 of them long pretzels for $0.05 a piece.
Yes, sir.
And then talk more Islam.
Come on,
And
man.
then talking. And after months and months of this, without him budging or hardly saying a word, this is the power of the man you have with you there in Atlanta right now. My brother Abdul Sharif. He said, come on in the back. I want to show y'all something. And so we go in the back, go in the office. He pulls out a strong box and opens up the strong box. And before he shows us what's in it, he says, brothers, you've been coming here for months. I know what you're saying is right. He said, but I wanted to make sure for myself what you were saying measured up to what I have right here on this cassette tape. He had been corresponding with Mother Farrakhan.
Wow.
Via cassette tapes, and the minister was teaching, and he was hearing it, and he was thinking about Islam. So can I claim totally to have done that? No, okay. But I was the one who reeled the fish in, but I surely didn't put the bait on the hook.
Yes, sir.
Because brother Sharif knew that Islam was right. He understood it. And the evidence of that was that on the wall of his stores at the corner of North Capitol and N, as in Nancy Street, Northeast, there was a sign on the wall that said, do for self or suffer the consequences. That's
always
before he
been
registered.
a businessman. Right. Always been
a businessman. So here in this time, it's exciting. We're growing, we're moving. Brother Amin Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
Who was once known as Brother Waverly X.
Yes, sir.
From Washington, D.C., who was originally from Newark, New Jersey, working as the manager of a health food store called August Moon in D.C. And Brother Marvin and I used to get our groceries there. We were roommates, We get our groceries there and we get our healthy foods and all. And every now and then, Amin would ask us a question. We didn't know who he was. And we'd answer him the best we could. But see, brother, you need to come to the mosque. You need to come to Temple here, Islam, brother. The study group. Come on, brother. You gotta come out. And he'd say, oh, I'll think about it. And then after we did that, he pulled a Sharif the same way. He said, brother, I got to confess to you. Before I spent those 2 years on the road as the security and business manager for Bootsy Collins, I'm Brother Waverly 2X from Temple number 25 in Newark, New Jersey. We said, oh, man.
Yes, sir.
What? He said, yeah. I said, come on, man. We're going to come. Brother Akil, brother student,
yes, sir.
Abdullah Akil Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
You may remember him as Block.
That's right.
Member of the E-team for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
That's right.
All of us. He had been a sympathizer, and I don't know if he had his ex, but he was following the messenger prior to 1975. But when the nation transitioned, everybody kind of went their own way.
Yes, sir.
We met him on a detail. We needed to go get a vehicle to pick up the minister at the airport and didn't have one. And somebody was thinking, I know it's a brother out in Temple Hills. He got a nice car. Does he love Islam? This is me and my lieutenant boy. Does he love Islam? Yeah.
Right.
Okay, let's go get him. Let's find out what's happening. So they bring the brother to us where we are, and I look at him, shake his hand, talk to him. Good brother, good spirit, feel it immediately. I said, but brother, one thing, you can't go get the minister on no detail driving for the minister with no damn beard on your face. Sit right here.
Right.
So we took the Norelco razor, and he said when I was shaving him, he said, this man, Jamil, he's a nut. He's shaving my beard off of my face the first day he met me.
Come on, man.
Man, there's so many stories of how this brotherhood began to expand and build. And in those days on the East Coast, you had that powerful brotherhood. Again, Minister Kareem is there in Plainfield, New Jersey, and New York as a representative of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So he's building the FOI stronger everywhere. So in all these cities, in Washington, and Baltimore, in Philadelphia, and Trenton, and Wilmington, up and down throughout New Jersey, Newark, and then on up further in the north, in Boston, under Minister Don.
Yes, sir.
So we have a great FOI beginning to develop. And the spirit of friendship and love among those brothers is still here more than 40 years later.
40 years
those
later.
Same brothers are soldiering. And I'm proud to call them my brothers and my friends. I love those brothers because we went through adversity together.
Yes,
yeah, go ahead.
If I want to fast forward you though, because and I share my relationship is a little different. When I came to the mosque in '95 here in Atlanta, number 15, you of course were the regional minister at that time. The very first time I came to the mosque, I'll never forget, Minister Rahman taught that Sunday. And I didn't accept the teachers that day, but I remember going home, like, that old dude was right. He'll call a white man the cracker in the hot beat, right? And I went home, but I was like, I loved it. And I don't think I came back the next week, but when I did come back, you were teaching, and I was so moved by your eloquent delivery of the word. So I want to talk about your rise, your rise to your first city where you are a minister, and how do you go from that to really almost, I don't know what your proper title was as a national, I don't know if you were national representative. What was your title at that time? I don't know what it was, but if you can correct that.
There's we can adjust. We don't have to correct, like Brother Jackie was saying earlier. I didn't have to correct you, brother. You know who Minister Farrakhan is. It's just an adjustment.
Yes, sir.
Come on, making a few adjustments.
Yes, sir.
But you see, in my experience, number one, there's only, and I have to say this so clarity, there's only one national representative of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in the Nation of Islam. That's Minister Farrakhan.
Yes, sir.
We who were assigned to that post as national spokespersons.
Yes, sir.
A spokesperson is different than a representative.
Representative, that's right.
It's a great honor now. It's a great honor.
Definitely.
But the fact is, I've always seen this mission as never being limited to geography. I'm in this city. You can't cross my line. I don't come to your city. I'm from over here.
Yes, sir.
What is that?
Right. Ain't no borders in Islam.
We ain't no geography worshipers. We don't do that. So what we did was we traveled everywhere. The first ministry assignment I had was in 1981, in May of 81. This is May too. So that's 40 years ago this month, actually.
Yes, sir.
Wow. I was assigned to go to Minister Farrakhan and Brother Akbar. I can see it like it was yesterday. And this is those details you were talking about, Brother Jackie. But we were sitting in a hotel room on the 8th floor in the Howard Inn Hotel, right there on Georgia Avenue. Yeah. No. And the minister was sitting in the suite, the presidential suite, the best suite in the hotel.
Come on, man.
And we were sitting there, and he and Brother Akbar were talking over near where the double beds were. And I was moving around the suite just handling business. I was on post in the room on security. And I remember I went to close the curtains because it was the end of the day. And I didn't want, of course, the lights are going to be on. You don't want to have anybody be able to look in on the minister.
Right.
Even from the 8th floor.
Right.
And so I was closing the curtains and doing what I had to do. And as I walked back past, Minister Farrakhan called my name. He said, Brother James. I said, yes, sir. He said, would you mind because they had a big road map. In those days, there wasn't no computers. You remember
Right.
fold up road maps used to
Fold
get
up
in
map.
the
Yes, sir.
and you unfold it, and it's the whole United States.
Right. Strategy maps.
See, brother Ma, he remembers that. He old. He remembers. So we spread it out. We spread it out, and they had it spread out. And Akbar was pointing to cities. He had some circles and talking about the problems the nation was having and all this, and so what we need to do here and how we can expand there. And as he was telling the minister that, the minister just called my name and asked me, said, "Brother, would you mind going to New Orleans and opening up a mosque for us there as our minister?"
Whoa.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Now, this was quite interesting because I had just got married the previous Monday.
Wow.
Right. Okay.
See, it's coming back to you now, Kadeem, huh?
Come on now.
I had got married, and I went, and we had just got our new little apartment, and you didn't have nothing in there, some potted plants and maybe a chair or something. I don't know. And, so we up there. I go to the place. I said, "Well, honey, that's why I thank Allah for Sister Jamila Muhammad. She's my former wife, but she's a soldier, and I thank Allah for her, and I respect her.
That's right.
From now until eternity." I go home and I say, we gonna move to New. I said it like because I wasn't from there. I said New Orleans because that's how people say it when they're not
right. New Orleans.
I said we're gonna go to New Orleans. She said, "Oh boy, you crazy? Yeah, that's funny. We just got this apartment last Saturday." And I'm looking at it like, no, I'm dead serious. The minute I go to the New Orleans and I'm going. She said, "Oh, okay."
Wow.
So we working to get it together and start preparing ourselves to go to New Orleans. They send me down there. I have a plane ticket. They give me an envelope with $500 in it. I said, well, at least they're gonna take care of me, make sure I'm okay. Brother Akbar said, that ain't for you.
No, come on, man.
You go down there and you use that to rent a venue to bring the minister down there to speak. Okay, yes, sir. I went and got a job.
Come on, man.
Got a job, and brother ministers, ain't nothing wrong with you having a job.
Right.
Ain't nothing wrong with you going out and working somewhere and earning a living. Work is honorable, work is dignified, work is decent. There's nothing wrong with you working a job to provide for your family. There's nothing wrong with it. Don't sit up here like you got to be the emperor, sitting up here with your feet on an ottoman, talking about what the believers need to do for you. You got 3 believers, and you want everybody to pay you. Cut it out.
Right.
Hear me. Come on, man.
Cut it out. Anyway, message. All right, no, but so I go down to New Orleans. I'm working a job as a manager at a Wendy's restaurant, and we building. And Allah blessed us. That was in May of '81. By Savior's Day '82, we had our mosque number.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so,
sir.
So when you went there, well, hold on, brother minister. So when you went there, it wasn't a study group or nothing going on in New Orleans. Oh, praise Allah.
Zero. It was
Zero.
Nothing. That I met the brothers who were there. There were people who were interested, but I didn't know them, and I wasn't given their names.
Yes, sir.
So I had to get out on the street, and I took what final calls we had. We had the first edition of the final call, the ultimate challenge, the survival of the Black nation. That was in my hands. The crucifixion.
Yes, sir.
And the third edition was called I Will Be the Winner, Living or Dead.
Man,
yes, sir.
Come on,
brother, let me tell you. I was down there soldiering. I drew up some, back then they had a machine called a mimeograph. Y'all don't know what that is.
Yes, sir.
Mimeograph machine. And I took my best penmanship and printed letters, Islam, the nation must come and learn about Islam. And
yes, sir.
put it on there, call this number, because I had a home number, but I didn't have no answer machine. So I had to be home to catch the phone because there wasn't no cell numbers back then.
Right.
So,
yes, sir.
Nobody's like, yo, hit me on my email. No, none of that.
Right. Well, none of that.
So we had to put out the flyer, and I was on the corner. I remember I was on Canal Street, and somewhere about 2 blocks south of Basin Street. I want to say Carondelet Street, but I can't remember, Brother Jackie. You'd have messed me up. So
go on now.
A 66 Volvo pulls up, a 66 Volvo coupe, canary yellow, pulls up And I said, oh, you want a paper? And he said, brother looked at me and said, Assalamu alaikum. I said, walaikum salam. He said, man, who are you? I said, I'm Brother James. I'm living here now. We're going to build us a study group. He said, no kidding. I said, yeah. He said, man, let me talk to you. And that brother was my first FOI captain in my service as a minister. That was the great brother Emil Muhammad. Today is on the minister's security team, his driver, and the E team, brother. Brother
Emil. I find a call representative.
Yes, sir. When you tell brother Emil that I love him today, like I loved him 40 years ago, and I love him 40 years from now. That's my main man, 50 grand, and he was and he's smooth as butter. Smooth, big old feet though. He wear 13 and a half. Big old, but big old, he just smooth. And man, and brother Emil was smooth. And we started working, brother. And we got brother Carlton and brother Lee, and those other brothers started coming, brother Michael, and they kept coming in the mosque, and we kept training. And we used to be outside 1 o'clock in the morning outside my house, drilling in the driveway.
Yes, sir.
I know the neighbors thought we was crazy. We out there hollering, "Your left flank, Mom, your left flank." These people. But brother, we were so fired up.
Come on,
all
man.
the time.
Come on.
That number 46 spirit. I'm so proud of what Brother Willie and the believers there are doing today. But we started from a little kernel in the rebuilding of the Nation of Islam. So that was New Orleans.
Yes, sir.
Then I went to Philadelphia, and I can't tell all these stories because the stories are great. And some of the stuff is really not for the airwaves.
We can always, brother minister, we can always have a part 2.
If that's what you'd like to do, we'll do it. But I feel so good talking to you, my brothers, because the nation has to become even more than we already are. We have to become a nation that respects history.
Come on now.
Right.
And respects civics. Many of your viewers may be watching you for the first time, and they don't know. They know they're in this mosque or that study group. But if you're in mosque number such and such, and you don't know where this one in the before and after is, if you're in mosque number 15 in Atlanta, and you have no idea where mosque number 14
is,
right?
Or mosque number 16,
right.
Then you might as well just be in a bubble because you're not in a nation that was established with continuity and drive for the whole.
And we connect, man. We connect.
And that's what that history is. That history is powerful.
Yes, sir.
To build our nation. If you want to know the mosque numbers, just Google or go on YouTube and look up Nation of Islam mosque numbers and put Jamil, Jamil. And it should be a video to come up. And I actually go over the mosque numbers and how they were established. It was really fascinating.
Absolutely.
But this is
do that tonight.
Yeah, sure. It's fun. Just get you a root beer float or something, put your feet up and go on watch it. It's fun.
I saw your dinner last night.
Yeah. I had fried rice. Did you see the Far East
fried
rice?
But with the Creole seasoning? Yeah, bro. I saw you.
But
Philadelphia, mosque number.
No, so we go to Philadelphia after New Orleans.
Right.
Minister Kareem again. There in Philadelphia, I was home visiting my in-laws. Just for, I was working a job in New Orleans, happy, living in New Orleans, everything fine. I go there in, I think it was May or June of 82.
Yes, sir.
And here we go. Brother Robert 12X, may Allah be pleased with him, was the minister there. And he was from Plainfield. So there was some political issue, people, you from Plainfield, we needed ministers from Philly, but let's go back and forth. So the brothers was having some disputes, and I walk into the mosque that day, but my travel had gotten me in the city late, but I still was going to the mosque that day no matter what. I run up the steps, hoping to catch the end of the mosque meeting, get up the steps, and they're having the whole back meeting, and it's going back and forth. Brother Kareem is sort of presiding. I walk in, he says, "Oh, there's brother. You just got here from New Orleans?" "Yes, sir." "How long are you going to be here?" "Just a few more days." "Okay, here's what we're going to do then. You teach next Sunday." He ain't from one side or the other side.
Come on now.
You teach and teach the teachings of the messenger. Ain't got nothing to do with who's on whose side or nothing. So I taught the teachings that next Sunday, and we had some success with the lost, founds, and acceptance, and attendance and enthusiasm was high by Allah's grace. And Brother Kareem asked me, would you stay again another Sunday? And at this point, I had to tell my job something, and my job said, basically, we don't want to hear it.
Right.
I said, okay, I don't have no job no more now. At this point, my eldest daughter is about 3-4 months old, and I'm getting some crazy looks from across the breakfast table now.
Absolutely.
What the hell, hey, you know? But we relocated the family back to Philadelphia and stayed there. We thought it was going to be 1 week. It ended up being 5 years.
Yes, sir.
So in temple number 12, the top of the clock again.
Top of the clock.
The great soldiers in Philadelphia, many of whom are with us to this day in the nation, soldiering. The great legendary brother Jaran Muhammad, the writer for the Final Call News and journalist, the great and author. So many of the Muslims. Brother Abdul Mutakar, right? From Memphis, but it used to be Brother Anthony, Minister Anthony from Memphis.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yes, sir.
His wife, Sister Mutakara, Sister Jill, she came in the mosque under us in Philadelphia at that time.
Yes, sir.
82. So there were all Brother Marvin and Brother Anthony EX and Sister Marie and so many of the other great ones who were there in those early stages, who built the Islam and built back Philadelphia to its reputation, the top of the class. Right. So we're very, very proud and honored to have served in that great and historic outpost for the Nation of Islam. So many great things, brother. My life been so good, brother. If it got any better, I mean, they'd have to arrest me for conspiracy because I had to be more than one person.
Yes, sir.
My life been good.
Hey, but Minister, now I know you was put in all these cities and it just took off. But was there ever a time when you had a plan and this is my plan and I'm gonna work my plan?
The short answer is no. And the reason for that is not because I'm a dummy with sawdust for brains, but it's because I always wanted to do what he told me to do.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
And
now.
so I built, instead of building my Islam around what my life and plans were, I built my plans in life around what Islam demanded of me.
Yes, sir.
And Allah blessed me with that. I'm not saying that you should do that, dear viewer. You know, you might be in your city, you know, and you have opportunities and jobs and all. That's great. But I didn't have or desire any of that. And that's why I say my family, I thank Allah for my family, because they moved around with me. I never questioned the minister. He said, go here. I went there. Yes, sir. And I did it. After Philadelphia came Baltimore.
Baltimore, right.
Yeah.
Baltimore.
And I had no idea that I would ever be in Baltimore. But when I got there, lo and behold, the same thing happened again. The great Muslim followers of Elijah Muhammad and Louis Farrakhan came to the top. They did the best. And so we had so many great men. I can't even tell you. Minister Carlos, who's there today.
Right.
Our brother, student minister, Abdul Rasul Muhammad. Formerly Brother Fontaine.
Right.
Yes, sir. All Brother Tracy Muhammad from Richmond. Those were the assistant ministers on my team. So I felt strapped like I was going to a knife fight with an AK. That's great. You know, And so everybody here was just powerful, beautiful, and the mosque just took off and started growing.
Yes, sir.
And it wasn't my plan, dear brother. It really wasn't. I didn't have a plan. And I say this with emphasis. If you believe who Minister Farrakhan is,
come on, brother,
then when he calls you to do something, do it. Don't ask a whole lot of questions.
Right.
Elijah Muhammad said, where you see him, look at him.
Look at him.
Come on, man.
Where you hear him, listen to him. Where he tells you to go there. Where he tells you to stay from that place. Continue to hear our Minister Farrakhan.
That's right.
To me, that was pretty simple.
Come on, man.
I didn't need a whole lot of other stuff.
Right.
If he said do a thing, that's how it was going to be. It wasn't always easy. Of course, I wanted to have stuff and I wanted to be in a certain place, but Islam for me was so much fun. And ask yourself that, everybody.
Come on, you got to ask yourself that.
Ask yourself, are you having fun?
Come on now. You ain't having fun. You ain't
You
doing
ain't
it.
having fun.
You're not having fun, you're not doing your Islam right.
You're not doing it right.
Every day, man, Islam is so full of
Come on now.
so full
That's
of
right.
energy, so full of life and
Come
drive. Ramadan and the Savior's Day and the push on Saturday. That's a holiday when you see them brothers at 8 o'clock in the morning and y'all get together and have a cup of coffee and check each other's ties and make sure the suits are laying right and grab bottles and hit that street. That's a holiday for you. Friday afternoon at Juma, when you bow down with those who bow down, that's a holiday every week. Look at Allah blessing you. Look at Allah blessing you with brothers and sisters that you can trust them.
That's right.
You don't have a bunch of shady Negroes around. Every now and then one of them gonna pop up, but they ain't not around all the time. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yes, sir.
See, Islam is a good time. Islam has been for me like a lifelong adventure. No, I don't have a lot of money, but I sat with one of my childhood friends in Cincinnati a few years ago. I was in town. He said, come on down, I'm gonna take you to lunch. And so we went to a nice restaurant downtown, and he is a very prominent attorney in the city. And he makes what prominent attorneys make. And we were sitting at the lunch table and talking about the old days and wondering which one of us had the best jump shot, just talking.
Yes, sir.
And he said, he got quiet. I said, man, what's wrong with you? He said, man, I'd trade places with you in a heartbeat. I said, what are you talking about, man? You just made partner in your law firm. You do business all around the country. You hopping on and off of private planes making dough. You trade places with me. He said, yeah, I make that money. He said, but you are free.
That's right.
You are free. You go where you want, when you want, and you report to the minister. And later, Minister Farrakhan confirmed that. He said, dear brother, he said, you the second freest black man on earth. He said, the only person you report to is me.
Come on.
When you get up in the morning, you get up when you get ready to get up.
Come on.
He said, if you feel like you want to lay back down, you lay back down.
Come on, man.
After prayer, he said, you free.
Come on.
He said, because you helped me in this mission. And I'm saying to everyone under the sound of my voice, brothers, help the minister.
Yes, sir.
God damn it, don't let nothing tell you, stop you, keep you from helping the minister.
Yes, sir.
I wish the hell I would tell the minister, I would be there with you, but I got to work on my job. We got a special program this week.
Right. I mean, real talk.
Now, this is real. This is real. Now,
Real
brother Steve,
talk.
you and I know that's true because me and you been all over the country in cars, cramped
That's
up
right.
together, riding around,
Come on.
soldiering to help the minister. This ain't
Yes,
no
sir.
accident, brother.
Come
It's
on.
not an accident. I remember I was selling cars back when the minister let me do that. That's another story. He pulled me out the car business, but
Yeah, you told me that was like a predator's job.
yeah, he told me, he said, brother, he said in the car business, you can make as much money as you got nerve to ask for, and you ain't got nothing but nerve. He said, but I mean, I know it's hard for y'all to conceive with that because as shy as I am. But,
Right.
said,
Yeah.
He said, you got no nerve. He said, but I worry that if you stay in that business, you will lose the spirit to help me resurrect our people in the ministry. So I'm asking you to leave that business. Now I was making paper.
Yes, sir.
Doing that. That's how the conversation got started. I was sitting at the dinner table with the minister one night. I was clean as an Arkansas hound's tooth. Hey. Sit at the table, trying to look prosperous and everything, The minister said, brother, you look good. What are you doing for a living? I said, I sell cars, brother minister. And he didn't say nothing. The dinner went on. And at the end of the dinner is when he called me over and told me about the spiritual thing and asked me to leave the business. I was gone that Friday. I left that Friday. I didn't look back and I didn't regret it. But while I was still in the car business, I used to take demo vehicles. They have the dealer tags. You can put a dealer tag on the vehicle and drive it legally on the road. Brother, I went to the dealership. Allah, please, I don't mean don't do this now. Don't you do this.
Come on.
Not for airwaves.
Don't do it. But I took two of them pretty Lincolns. Ooh, that's pretty.
Right.
Really? Because the minute we was in D.C. and the minister was in Cleveland, Ohio. I said, well, no, let's go.
Right,
so
right.
We got the brothers and drove off. I said, I'll be back from work. I'll be back to work in a few days. Well, we missing 2 D tags. I'll be picking up when I get back. Go up there in these Lincolns. You're just gonna go to Cleveland and turn around and come back. So it's not a problem. Until the minister said, Jamil, I don't want to fly over to Detroit. That's a flight on a commuter flight. Why don't you drive me over there? I want to see how this Lincoln ride. Yes, sir.
Oh my goodness, man.
We drove him over to Detroit, stayed there for a couple of days, and when he left Detroit to return home, that's when we drove them Lincolns back to DC. All them brothers was crying. I know they thought they was going to jail. They thought it was jail. But when we got back, we turned them in. They was in great shape. Cut a couple extra 1,000 miles on them, but okay. And
right.
So we go back and turn them in. But there was that spirit that use whatever you have, do what you have to do, but to be there. If the minister is physically on the ground anywhere within a day's journey of you, you get there.
Get there. That's
if
right.
You can't fly to within a day's journey. That means if he's in Los Angeles, you still go.
That's right.
Flying. But if you can't afford to fly and you're in Atlanta and you find out he's in St. Louis, you get in the car.
Right.
And I say, I love Brother Abdul Sharif Muhammad. Let me tell you what that man did. When we brought the minister to New Orleans on August the 21st, 1981. No, wait, let me get my dates straight. I don't know if it was August 21st.
You get the dates.
The Brother Jackie got me mixed up.
But it is 1981.
It's 1981 in August.
Right.
And we bring him to the Canal Street, the New Orleans Marriott Hotel. We need to get 500 people in the room to justify the expenditure. I'm nervous. Brother Sharif, Brother Akil, Brother Amin, Brother Captain Tim that you know from DC that's now in College Park, Georgia, in Atlanta. They got in a big old green van with no air conditioning and drove in August from DC to New Orleans. I didn't know they were coming, but they came to help their little brother soldier. They soldiered that city together, man. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Who am I? Help us in the call.
And brother, let me tell you something. I was so happy to see him. It was like in the old Western movies when you're out there shooting bows and arrows and rifles, and then you see the cavalry riding. And they rode in, man. I was so happy to see my brothers.
Let us do this. Let us do this. We're going to do our quick commercial.
Yes.
Then we're going to come right back.
Yes, sir.
All right. So listen.
Talking too much.
No, sir. You on it, brother.
We love this.
Yes, sir. So to all of those who are listening live via YouTube, please make sure you hit that share button. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And yes, you may still continue to ask your question. All of you who are also watching, we ask you to support the JAKQ Brothers show. You see our Cash App is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Please, $ JAKQ Bros. I made a mistake earlier. I said Cash Bros. It's $ JAKQ Bros. And so also we would like to ask all of you who are listening, please go to finalcalldigital.com. That's finalcalldigital.com and subscribe to the #1 black selling newspaper in the world. And you will always have emailed over to you the latest, greatest edition of the Final Call newspaper. So that's it for me. Let's get back to the show, Brother Jack.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Now we're in Philadelphia. At what point do you come to Atlanta?
Well, in Philadelphia, there was one more city. Remember, there was Baltimore.
Okay.
I was in Baltimore, and this is interesting too, because Baltimore, we had that thing running like a top. By all means and measures, Baltimore was a mosque that functioned at a very high level of efficiency and productivity for the Nation of Islam.
Okay.
We got there in March of '88. The first mosque meeting I went to was me and 12 people. That's what the hell is this? The Last Supper? What's going on?
Right.
So we started building. And with the help of people like Brother Edward, I can't name everybody, but Brother Edward Muhammad, you know, we took the mantle that had been placed. That flag was rooted in Baltimore by one of the first Muslims I ever met. And his name is Brother Attorney Abdul Arif Muhammad.
Praise Allah.
That's the Minister's General Counsel today. So I told you, we still friends after 40 plus years. We brothers, we thick.
Brotherhood.
And both brothers took and we built Baltimore back up. And we had it cranking. It was going good. And sometimes when I give those average attendances and some of the things that we did, people are like, what? Are you kidding? But the attendance was literally very high. We had a good time because we tried to make sure that if you left the mosque, because I mean, think about it. Some of you watching the broadcast tonight, you left the mosque. You're not active in the mosque community. You still are Muslim, but you're not in the mosque. You left the mosque because you felt constrained that you couldn't have no fun.
Yes.
Let's just keep it 100.
Come on now.
But that's some of the stuff you want to do to have fun is pretty boneheaded and knuckleheaded. Like, you know, some of that stuff you don't got to do. But the bottom line is you want to have fun. Why not make the mosque the place where you have fun and make progress?
Come on now.
Why not make the mosque the place where you look better because you've been in the mosque?
Right.
Where you eat better because you've been in the mosque. Because you go to better places and do better things and roll better cars and live a better life. Why not?
Come on.
What you waiting on? What you want? I don't want material things. What the hell? You live in a material world.
Set yourself in heaven and what?
At once. Use your mathematical theology to set yourself in heaven at once. So yeah, we try to move. So we move and making it good. One time there were some sisters in the mosque who were complaining. They wanted to go see Luther Vandross was coming to town. I promise this story won't be. You know, I don't tell no long story.
Right. It's gonna be short. You already know. We know it's short.
So Luther Vandross was coming to town. I'm gonna walk over here and put these groceries away while I'm talking to y'all. Cause you can't have the groceries sitting out. And Luther Vandross was coming to town with Anita Baker. Yeah. And this is frozen goods too. Oh, I'm glad I did it. Luke was coming to town with Anita Baker. And so they come to see us, and everything gonna be good. And man, the sister said, we can't go, we ain't got no husbands. Oh man, that's sad. So we got to thinking, well, why don't we help the sisters? So the FOI bought the sisters some tickets. Yeah. Bought them tickets, and then we rented some Lincoln Town cars.
Come on, man.
Come on now.
Down there. We told the sisters, y'all get dressed in the best you got. Get pretty. They came to the mosque with dress 19s on and gold foil, just dripping like new money. And the brothers had a little tea for them. We gave them a little tea before they went out, you know. We want to make it nice for them.
Right.
And we put them in them Lincolns, had the Lincolns lined up in front of the mosque. They didn't know about the Lincolns until they walked out the mosque. Ooh, this for us? Yeah, you the MGP.
Come on now.
Right. Come on now.
We put them sisters in them cars and we rolled on downtown. We had a squad already at the Baltimore Arena. And don't believe me. Now, I asked the brothers from Baltimore. They'll tell you the truth. I know my kitchen look real bachelory. Don't worry about that. I'm working on that. You got any knives or spoons or forks in there? I'm gonna get some of them one day. But brother, we go down there, bro. Oh, here's my scallions. Okay, we go down to the place and we pull up in front of the Baltimore Arena in those Lincolns. It wasn't but about 8 or 9 of them. It wasn't a lot of them, but it was enough to make an impressive look for the motorcade. Pull up at the curb. We got brothers already on post down there. They come over to the car, white gloves on. Bam! They open all one time. Huh? Right? And the get out. Now traffic stopping. They what the? And the lost founds, they never seen none of the sisters so proud and happy. They walked into the Baltimore Arena, and the brothers was at every few feet. They was got right this way, right this way.
Right.
And they put them in the seat, and you start seeing lost found women pulling their dresses up, trying to cover themselves.
Right.
Pulling their hem down, and they would say things to their boyfriend. damn, listen, that Woodrow, you don't never hold the door for me. Like what's going on? So it was always this kind of a thing where they were looking to see a better life. We were proud, happy to be Muslims, and that's the thing that makes the difference. If you're happy and proud, because the minister told me a long time ago, he said, son, people don't never do what they're supposed to do.
That's right.
He said they only do what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, so y'all can see me and don't believe I'm in the dark. He says, people do what they want to do. He said, your job as a manager, as a leader, is to make them want to do what they're supposed to do.
Come on.
Think about that.
Come on.
He said, look for ways to tell the believers yes. He said, look for a way to tell the believers yes and give them an affirmative answer. He said, don't be looking to tell them no. Don't think that leadership means different ways I can tell you no, you can't, no. I refuse, I deny, I turn you down, I resist you, I turn you away, I reject you. Therefore, I'm an effective leader. No,
yes, sir.
Find a way to tell the people yes.
Yes, sir.
And when you tell them yes, then they'll be with you because you help them to affirm their dreams. Remember, the people didn't come to the mosque to obey you and your leadership.
Yes, sir.
That's not why they're there.
That's right.
People came to the mosque to help Farrakhan.
Come on, man.
So keep them in contact with Farrakhan.
That's right.
Teach Farrakhan. Teach him. Don't be ashamed to teach him. You don't know the Honorable Elijah Muhammad as good as he knows it. So teach what you know, which is Farrakhan.
That's right.
Yes. Teach and develop the deeper understanding of the most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Allah in person.
Yes, sir. Well, Brother Minister, that leads me to another point.
Sure.
You know, I've admired your teaching style, your intellect, many years. Every year I've been in the nation, and I think that where you at to now, I mean, in all truth, we have many great ministers in our nation of Islam. I always say you're still one of the best, pound for pound.
Pound for pound.
What advice would you give young ministers that's in the ministry today, representing the teachings of the most Honorable Elijah Muhammad as taught by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan? What advice would you give them?
Fall in love and teach what you love. Real simple.
Simple as that.
Fall in love and teach what you love. See, because when a man is telling somebody about a woman that he loves, he don't need no book.
That's right.
He don't need to study no particular writing about her. He knows her. He loves her. And he brags about her, right?
Yes, sir.
Right? And they write songs, ain't no man got a woman like me. 'Cause I ain't never found me a girl to love me like you do. Right? Remember that?
Come on. No, I remember that one. I feel you.
James said, no, I don't. No, I don't have very old, it's very ancient, very antique.
Yes.
I got a question, Brother Minister.
Sure.
Sister want to know, what is one of the most intimate, teachable moments with the minister that you could talk about? And if you can, I guess you could do that on closing remarks. We want you to leave something with the audience that something that they could, can live by.
Let me say this to you. This is only for the people that struggle with sin and shortcoming.
All of us. Come on now.
Let me tune in.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm all in. Come on now.
This is only for the people who struggle trying to do right, but seem like they end up and trip and fall into some wrong situation.
Teach.
This is for the people that love Islam, but they struggle with the weakness of their flesh, their urges, their appetites, their desires, their tendencies, their proclivities. These are for those people. Now, if you're not those kind of people, then this ain't for you. If you don't struggle with sin, then you can go on and hang up and watch the Yankees game or whatever you're going to do.
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, the thing I would leave you with about the heart of the man with us, this Messiah, this Farrakhan. See, we haven't talked a lot of doctrine tonight. We haven't quoted scriptures, but I want you to know about a man that loved me even after he knew me. A lot of us, we expect to be treated like we are loved because we expect to project an image of ourselves that is distant from our private reality.
Teach, man.
Farrakhan loves us. He's like that Jesus that you read about back then. Why? Because he's that Jesus that you're learning about right now.
Come on, man.
I remember in church, we used to hear that the call was made. It said he looked beyond my sins or my faults.
All my needs. Come on now.
I heard another song said, pass me not, O gentle Savior. Hear my humble cry. While on others thou art calling, please do not pass me by. That's what I heard about. I heard in church that there was really, not really, it wasn't in church that I heard it, but I know it's a fact. It's 3 things that God has never seen.
Come on, man. I was asking you. I was going to ask you. Go ahead.
It's 3 things that you say, no, man, Jamil, you lost me. God has seen everything. I'm telling you, it's 3 things that God has never seen.
Come on.
Look at Brother my face like, what the heck can you be talking about? The first thing that God has never seen is a sin that he does not hate.
Come on.
Allah hates all sin, and no sin gets a better grade than another.
That's right.
We try to get funny. Well, at least I ain't sinning like that. I only sin like this.
Right.
Come on. But sin is all sin, and Allah hates it all. He's never seen a sin that he wouldn't hate, that he didn't hate. Would you agree with that?
I agree. Amen.
Yes, sir.
Second thing God has never seen is a sinner that he didn't love.
Come on.
Teach, brother.
You own it.
See, y'all mad at me now.
No, sir.
Because
no, sir.
You want God to love you through your sin, but the people you don't like who have sinned against you, you get mad at God if he tries to save them.
Come on, man.
But I say to you that God has never met a sinner that he did not love. Never seen.
Come on.
He loves the sinner, and the reason why he hates sin is because it interrupts and interferes with the relationship of the sinner to the creator, to the God, to the savior, to the redeemer, to the renewer, to the refresher, to the refurbisher. He stops that when he sins and he breaks himself down to less than he should be. So God hates the sin and loves the sinner. Do you agree with point number 2? God never seen the sinner that he didn't love?
Amen.
Yes, sir.
I think the third thing that we can say with surety that God has never seen is a soul that he could not save.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
You asked me for a personal story, and I'm going to make it off this call without crying. I'm going to make it off this show. I'm not crying on here. But I'm going to tell you. You see, one of the things that sin does is it ostracizes and it isolates. And it individualizes and it renders the sinner under the thought in his mind or her mind that they are alone, unworthy, unfit, not deemed. And so they look at themselves and say, woe is me, I'm deep in this sin. But when Allah says to you, he's never seen a soul that he couldn't save, there's no point in no sin that you're in that God can't reach you and rescue you. Our God, Master Farad Muhammad, and make no mistake, he's God in person. If you crying in your Wheaties, that's your fault. If you believe the point number 12 on the back of Muhammad Speaks or Final Call newspaper, every week it says the same thing. It says to us, I'm going to read it right here. We believe that Allah, God, appeared in the person of Master W. Farad Muhammad, July 1930, the long-awaited Messiah of the Christians and the Mahdi of the Muslims. We believe further and lastly that Allah is God, and besides him, there is no God, and he will bring about a universal government of peace, wherein we all can live in peace together. That's describing him. See, if Master Farad Muhammad can't reach you, you can't be reached. And I'm saying to you that he can.
Come on,
so
man.
Whatever your sin is, whatever you think disqualifies you, that's the devil who's the accuser, the prosecutor. That's the devil who's the finger pointer, the blamer. That's the devil who wants to shine a light on your sins and put your good qualities in the dark.
Come on, man.
But you see, when I came to the ministry, you asked me to close it out. I'm going to close it out, brother.
No, I didn't ask you to close it out.
Go, he good.
Go ahead. He good.
This is what happened, brother. In 2001, in September, when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan asked me to assume the post as his national, or one of his national spokespersons, in a tripartite office with Dr. Abdul Alim Muhammad and Dr. Ava Muhammad, my daughter said, "Oh, you know what? The minister's smart. He got the doctor, the lawyer, and the other guy." The other guy.
Yeah.
But when he asked me to do that, I was moved. It was the greatest honor that had ever been paid me. But I knew that my lifestyle was not what we are taught by the restrictive law.
Teach, man.
That was on a Saturday, so I made an appointment. I want y'all to hear me now, because this is something that you might be fearful or reticent or reluctant to do, because nobody wants to put their sin or fault out on Front Street. But sometimes when it comes to you like that, you got to deal with it and own up to your stuff.
Yes, sir.
Not y'all on.
No, go ahead, man.
Because JAKQ Brothers don't have no sin. But
that's right.
You're talking about us.
Right.
Teach, man.
I got a lot. Come on.
I got there on a Saturday, and I made an appointment to go see the minister at the National House on Monday. And when I got there, I began to tell the minister, I said, "Brother Minister, this is the greatest honor that anyone has ever bestowed upon me. To be able to be considered by you as worthy to carry your message wherever you send me, at your disposal, at your behest, at your pleasure." I said, "But I can't do it. I can't accept this post. My life doesn't measure up to what you teach us." I said, "And if my life and the moral decisions that I have failed in and made become public knowledge, it may look as if you have approved of these things." I said, "This is not something I did in the past." I said, "This is something that's going on right now, and we expect the culmination of this individual circumstance right at or around New Year's at the beginning of the year."
Yes, sir. Understood.
And we expect 2 people to arrive at the beginning of the year.
Yes, sir.
I said, and Brother Minister, it's not what it's supposed to be. And the minister listened to me. And he had his hands folded like this with his fingers pointing. He said, "Brother, you finished?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "First of all," and I'm saying this to all of you who can see this. He said, "Brother, first, you are not your own judge. Because you're not your own servant. You are Allah's servant, so let him do the judging." He said, "In the meantime, when I send you to work, go to work." He said, "Brother, don't you know that Allah has a warehouse, a warehouse of forgiveness stored up for you because you sincerely tried to help me in this work. You have to clean up your mess. You can't continue outside of the law." He said, "But I didn't ask you about your law violation. I asked you about your assignment." He sent me to work in spite of myself. I was determined to work to show the better part of myself, that Allah might know, that his servant might know, that my family and the people that I had hurt might know that there is in here somewhere a man worthy of redemption, and that Allah had reached me and was willing to save me. So I don't come with the spirit of condemnation to no man. I know you done wrong before because you breathing.
Yes, sir.
I know you've made some mistakes and some errors. I know you have done some things of which you are not proud. There are skeletons in your closet and shadows in your room at night.
Teach.
But if you and I can hold on to the faith of Islam, Allah has already told us that we will be the winners. If you go to the Holy Quran, the 4th surah, ayah 147, so beautiful. I want you to, if you got Maulana Muhammad Ali right there, somebody pull it out.
Go ahead. I'm ready. Where we at? For what?
147
and 147.
All right.
And then you in the viewing audience, I want you to go get it. Get because I don't want you to try to believe me now.
We ready. We ready.
We ready.
4 and 147. Would somebody just read it in the name of Allah, the Beneficent and Merciful? Read that one verse.
Sir.
You got it, brother?
Yes, sir. I got it. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Why should Allah chastise you if you are grateful and believe? And Allah is ever multiplier of rewards, knowing. Yes, sir.
Now, Minister Farrakhan embodies this principle at the highest level that we can see among us. It's so brilliant and beautiful in him that he has to warn us against becoming polytheistic worshipers of him. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes,
Absolutely.
sir. Absolutely.
Idolatry. Come on now.
He has to warn us against idolatry because we've never seen a man that beautiful.
Yes, sir.
We love him, but we don't worship him.
Teach.
But it's hard because we never seen nobody like that.
Come on.
We know that Allah is a man.
Teach.
This is the only man among us in whom we see this level of Allah's presence and power. But he reminds us, he said, I'm not even worthy to lace the top of the shoes of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Great humility.
And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, if the Savior left me for a fraction of a second, you would see a walking fool.
Come on now.
Look how Allah is showing us the grades of his power. But in that day, when he gave me that assignment, I drove away from the palace, tears all over my face. I want you all to live by that. 4 and 147. If you're a believer and you're grateful, why would Allah punish you? He don't want to punish you. His mercy takes precedence over his punishment. In 39 and 53, somebody get it from the Holy Quran. I feel like a Pentecostal preacher. Read.
The Hebrew Israelite,
The 39th surah, ayah 53. It's going to tell you something. And then I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. But I want you to hear this.
Go ahead, Kadeem.
Go ahead. Say, my servants who have been prodigal regarding their soul.
Stop right there. Stop right there. Prodigal means wasteful, extravagant, extreme, and irresponsible.
Yes, sir.
If you're a servant of Allah and you have not been efficient and proper with your use of time and energy, if you haven't made your prayers right, if you haven't eaten to live, if you haven't practiced the restrictive law, if you haven't soldiered like you should, then you is who are being addressed here. Oh, my servants who have been what? Prodigal, wasteful regarding your soul.
Teach, man.
Go ahead, Brother Kadeem.
Spare not of the mercy of Allah.
Despair not of the mercy. To despair is to worry. It is to stress. It is to be filled with anxiety. Despair is the opposite of hope. Anxiety is the opposite of tranquility. So we're being told here, despair not. Don't be anxious. Don't be full of hopelessness. Despair not of the what?
Mercy.
Mercy
of Allah. The mercy. Allah has the ability to find you in a condition where you are in harm's way and snatch you out with his power. Remove you from the jaws of death and destruction by his own decision that I'm going to save you. You see, he has 99 attributes, but we don't call Allah in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. We don't call him the destroyer. We don't even call him the collector or the lover or the any of the others. We call him the what? The savior. Because we're in a position where we need to be saved. So say, oh, my servants who have been prodigal regarding your souls, despair not of the mercy of Allah. What happens next, Brother Kadeem?
Surely Allah forgives sin altogether.
He said, is it sins or sin?
Sins.
Yes, altogether.
Yes, sir.
See, surely Allah forgives sins altogether. See, Allah is not like you. You know how it is with us. If you mess up one time with us, we got you. We say things to each other. Oh, I forgive, but I ain't never gonna forget.
Come on now.
No, you got one time to do that with me, Joker. I ain't fit to fool with you no more. We turn into Big Sean right on the spot. Silly knucklehead, I ain't messing with you. Right?
Come on, man.
Right on the spot.
Come on, man.
But Allah says, surely Allah forgives sins altogether. Immediately, He removes them from your record. Expunges them from your history, wipes your slate clean, takes your sin like this balled up piece of paper and tosses it into the sea of forgetfulness, never to be redeemed or dragged up again.
Come on, brother minister.
Surely Allah forgives sins altogether. That's the Allah I need.
Come on.
Me too. Come on now. I need that too, brother.
I don't want the faintest shadow of sin to remain on me.
Yes, sir.
I can't remove it myself because I'm the one who fell victim to it in the first place.
Come on now.
You see, Allah's servant can move in His spirit and come and do the same thing. He's forgiving, He's healing, He's rejoining, He's reuniting us, reuniting us, pulling us together to make a difference for ourselves. Finish up that verse for me, brother.
Man, let me get some of this, brother Kadeem.
Go ahead and hit it, brother Jack.
Yes, sir. He is indeed the forgiving.
He is indeed,
man. Come on now.
The forgiving. Al-Ghafar. He's the forgiving. He's the merciful.
Come on, man.
Al-Rahim. Right?
Yes, sir.
He is the definition of forgiving and mercy. He's, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was wont to say, he's the most merciful of those who show mercy.
Come on, man.
See, this is the God that we serve. And if we turn to one another and be merciless after God has been merciful, we're signing our own death warrant. We're canceling the benefit that God wants to bestow upon us.
Yes, sir.
So I can't come to you and tell you about hell. No, I'm here to invite you to heaven, and hopefully I'll walk with you and we'll go in together.
My God.
I don't want no trouble with Allah, because that verse that you just read, He's the forgiving, the merciful. The next verse tells you, you better get it right, because there's a time coming when there won't be no mercy.
And you want me to read it, brother minister?
Right quick, read it, bro. We need context.
Wait, why I can't get somebody? Let me
get some, brother. Get some. Go ahead, get some, brother.
And turn to your Lord and submit to Him before chastisement comes to you. Then you will not be helped.
Teach.
You see, brothers, what happens is, do it now. Like Brother Kareem used to say to us back in the day in New York and New Jersey on the East Coast, he said, brother, take your time, but hurry up.
But hurry up. That's what you told me when I was processing.
Yes, sir, brother. I got that from Brother Student Minister Kareem, and I'm glad you remember it. Take your time, but daggone it, hurry up. Because this world is crumbling by the minute.
Yes, sir.
And nobody knows the hour of the day when it's happening. Let me tell you what happened when I left the office of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan that day. I was driving down Interstate 65. This time I do remember, Brother Jack. I was a few miles past Gary, Indiana, a little town called Merrillville. I was going to get on 90 East and head back to my home in Detroit, where the lady who would later become my wife was pregnant with my twin daughters. That's what I had to tell the minister about.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
But I was sloppy in the way I did my life, and I don't want you all to do this. Don't be like this. But see, you're not going to gossip about Jamil.
Come on.
God damn it, you're not going to talk about me. I'm going to tell you what happened with me.
Teach, man.
Yeah, my life was a failure in one way, but it was there to provide an example for you that you don't have to fall where I fall. So you can laugh at me if you want.
Ain't no laughing.
Ain't no laughing.
Laugh if you want to. But when a test comes to you and you have to put yourself on the table, I hope you'll have the intestinal fortitude to do so.
Come on.
Man.
I drove past Gary and I was in Merrillville, about to hit 90 East, the Indiana Tollway. Phone rang and it was the minister's administrative assistant. He came on the phone. He said, "Brother, what will the twins' names be? Have you picked names for them?"
Wow. Come on now.
This is my minister.
That's my minister right there, bro. That's my minister, bro.
I told him what we were thinking about. And he said, "That's nice, but here's what their names will be." He said, "You named them Isan and Imani. And my girls, they're 19 years old today. They carry the names that were given to them by Minister Farrakhan.
Teach, man.
After their father had to admit the wrong that he had done to their sisters and brothers and their mother. Don't you ever tell me nothing about Minister Farrakhan. I'll snatch your goddamn out that. Let me tell you something. Don't ever tell me nothing about that man.
Yes, sir.
Whose life and whose mission and whose work and whose power is that of a savior in our midst, a true Messiah. You think you got a sin too big for Allah to save you? You think that somebody else's sin against you disqualifies them for heaven when you ain't deciding? Some of you getting mad. I'm not going to heaven if so-and-so was up there. I don't even want to be there if so-and-so gonna be there. Silly. You let hate pickle your mind like sauerkraut. Think, brothers, think, sisters, about the time in which we live. This ain't no time to play. My heart is open. I will bear witness to all of you that without love, we go nowhere. And the good news is that from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, love pours forth abundantly. And we must begin to water our respective gardens with love as well. I thank Allah for this program. I didn't know it would end up in this particular way. But you see, brothers, there's no God but Allah, none but Him. He is the Lord of all the worlds. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad is the Mahdi, the risen and exalted Christ who lives.
Teach.
Take it or let it alone.
Come on now.
Have you seen him, Jamil? No, I don't have to see his physical face because I know that I've been taught of him and the reality of him is with me every day. How is it with you? Through his servant, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Do you talk to the minister every day, Brother Jamil? No, I do not. But as I heard him play Beethoven the other night, tears ran down my face and I thought about what I told you at the start of this broadcast. My mother prayed a sincere prayer of a believing, prayerful woman of God. She prayed that her children would walk with Jesus. And doggone it, we ain't walking with him. My sister's gone on now. My sister Sharifa, she's gone on. May Allah be pleased.
May Allah be pleased with her.
But every step I take, she's with me.
Absolutely.
Every step that I take, Minister Rockman, he's with me.
Absolutely.
Every step I take, the believers.
Come on now. That's right.
If I go sit with the minister, you sit with him. The only one sent me to him was you.
Come on now.
I'm sorry.
No, we good, man.
If you don't love today, you endanger your life. Don't do it. Show love. Accept Allah's teaching. Accept Islam. Even if you're in the mosque, you got to exit. You got a Muhammad. You're famous. Everybody know you. Accept Islam again in this time. this time, let's try to get it right.
That's right.
And let's extend to one another the love that God has extended to us. I'm sorry. I don't know if this program can be released.
No, brother.
But
come on.
So much love been shown to me. I could never not show you love. Never.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Never. So much. I'm here breathing. This Ramadan, I was strong enough to fast.
Yes, sir.
On these six days of Shawwal, I'm strong enough to fast.
Teach, man.
I got my right mind close to it. Got up this morning, had warm blood in my veins.
Come on now.
Had the use of my limbs. I walk.
Right.
This is where we should be.
That's right.
We're in the fullness of time. As the minister prepares to depart from us, there's no death for Farrakhan.
Come on now.
No death for Farrakhan.
That's right.
That's right.
He prepares to depart and go be healed.
Come on now.
Be fitted for the next stage of the battle.
That's right.
Don't cry as if it's a sad day. It's a happy day.
That's right.
I know I'll miss him. I'll miss him. I miss walking to an airport with him, listening to him sing, and laughing with him at the table, and walking with him, and tossing luggage back and forth as we run down the pier in an airport, and the minister yells, "Think fast!"
Come on, man.
Piece of luggage at you. You gotta catch it like Gail says and keep running.
Keep it running. Come on now.
I'm gonna miss you. But I don't have to miss you. I don't have to miss you. If we're here, let us be in love with each other.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Let us be Muslims.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
And let us wipe out snotty nose.
Praise Allah, brother.
Go ahead, brother Jack.
Okay, yes, sir. Hey, well, thank you, brother minister, for that testimony. Wonderful testimony that we, the followers of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and the honorable minister Louis Farrakhan, and those of you who are our guests.
Honorable minister who?
Farrakhan.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought. I thought maybe something got in my ear.
But my brother, he's gonna keep our brother. That's Muslim. That's Islam right there. When you see your brother need assistance and you offer assistance to your brother every time he's in error. Thank you, brother minister, for such a beautiful and wonderful example of humility, a wonderful example of brotherhood. Thank you once again. We're gonna go around the room, brother minister. I mean, that was wonderful testimony. Brother Kawi, start with you, my brother. Do you have any words, sir?
Yes, sir. I mean, brother Minister Jamil. I mean, I don't even know what I'm going through right now after listening to this. What you just gave me. I've heard a lot of great testimonies. I heard them from some of the best. But what I heard just now from you, brother, and just the total story, man, this may be the best show I've ever had a chance to be a part of. This right here gonna be on my replay. I mean, for real. And man, I just wish, man, I would have been in the nation in the 90s with these brothers to be around you a lot. I mean, yeah. I feel like I got my brother Aquan. He was telling me about you. You know Aquan, brother Aquan? You be telling me about you, brother.
Is working on I'm trying to get me a 77 Cutlass. I'm gonna put it on 22s and bang out the inside with the interior, put some 18 inches in the back, and throw that thing on some switches. Y'all don't even know what it is. I'm about to get real with it. Thank you in advance, brother Iquan. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but I feel like I'm glad though. Despite I wasn't there, I'm here today. I'm here right now, and in this very moment, I've heard something very special, brother, and I've grew listening to you in this short period. I grew a lot, spiritually, and I thank you for that, brother. And no question, I would like to have you back on the show, brother. If you're gonna keep doing this,
well, I'm not gonna do this no more. I can't. I don't know, brother. I want to. I sincerely do apologize, not for the thoughts and feelings, but certainly I want to hold the decorum and demeanor that bespoke or bespeaks my particular assignment. I am not given to this kind of display. I mean, Brother Kadeem and I have been together since '95. He never seen me do this. But something that you touched on tonight about the condition of the believers in their hearts and their space in time. People are weary. They're tired. They've been holding up the banner of Islam a long time. Brothers been soldiering and believing, and sometimes they don't have big bank accounts, but their hearts are still good and they keep on striving. Some of these sisters been here in the nation being a righteous black woman in America, covering yourself and being beautiful in the way of Islam. And you've been without a husband for 12, 15 years. You still striving, you still righteous. Right. See, the believers are tired, but I say to the believers, don't get tired. Don't get weary. Keep running. The book of Isaiah, they that wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They'll run and not get weary. They'll walk and they won't faint. That's you, believers. Be like the book of Isaiah says a believer can be, because we're at the end now. This is the fulfillment. Don't get this far and turn around. Don't get this far and turn around. It's like the Cornelius brothers and Sister Rose said. You know them. Cornelius brothers and Sister Rose said, it's too late to turn back now. Man, no. I believe I'm falling. You know the rest of it. But you're too close.
Too close.
Too close.
Too close.
Keep pushing. Strive on Muslims. And I do apologize. I won't have this happen again.
Oh, brother, please. Come on. There's no apology needed. Thank you, brother.
Nobody sweating that, brother.
That's honesty.
Right.
Brother Ahmed.
Yes, sir, brother minister. Praise be to Allah. I mean, there's no words to say. You have such a way that you inspire people. You have such a way with the words, the scripture. Allah has blessed you in so many ways and allowed through you to bless and inspire many. Just like you have stories, so many believers that you've touched have testimonies that what you've given them, what Allah has given them through you, has continued to keep them strong. And it's because of you that we're here and we're striving to constantly reintroduce ourselves, pandemic, I mean, you went through cities and right now we're not able to get out there and build these cities like that, like once at that time. So we have to find new and innovative ways to get out here and get this word out, and thank you for coming on the show to help us to bless our audience, because this is going to go long, far, and deep.
Yeah.
And anything. Yes, sir.
It's something, brother, because when you think about it, this program, one of the great programs that I enjoyed, like you're talking about enjoying this program, was when you had my dear beloved brother, Captain Curtis.
Curtis. Yeah.
Yes,
On
sir.
your show. You see, brother, so I didn't touch people alone. Brother Curtis and I and others, and Sister Charlene, Sister Carolyn, Brother Darrell, Sister Lisa, and other brothers and sisters who labored in Atlanta at that time. Everybody was working together, so I can't accept credit for that. It was, yes, assalamu alaikum, Brother Captain, indeed. It is that love that because we didn't come to each other with that kind of love. We developed that. Brother Curtis outside.
No, he must have called.
Brother Curtis just called me, brother.
Yeah, he called me. Yes,
he said, "Dry them F5. Say dry them tears and fall in."
Classic F5. Sir, yes, sir. Sir, these are not tears, sir. These are an advanced military visual detection system. See, if you don't understand, don't say that. See, but Brother Curtis,
my goodness,
I saw on this program.
Oh,
let me tell you about the value of the JAKQ Brothers show. You went the other day and did this. You pulled out this one. See that relationship talks book?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
When Sister Katrina came on and started talking about that and started dealing with these issues in our families and our relationships and our people, and when we start dealing with how all of it relates back to Allah and the oneness of Allah, the power of Allah, there is no God but He. I'm not going to tell you about the time I seen Brother Curtis cry. That's another story.
Wait. I just wanted to say one more thing since we was on the Iquan thing. You know, I didn't fish him in, but I was one of the main reasons why he stayed in. You know, I just wanted to make that clear.
Yes.
He on too. But Iquan he's listening too.
But Iquan, and I'm telling you,
my brother.
And his family, and I'm talking about in Wisconsin and Georgia too. And you know, the sacrifice of the believers is so amazing.
Come on now.
You are the best. Let's say he called you the best. He said, You are the righteous. You are the powerful.
Yes, sir.
Then he told you to work cheerfully and fear not.
Right.
The reason why me and Brother Curtis can go anywhere and do anything together, because we can play with each other and love each other as brothers like that. But he knows that this is not a tear of weakness.
Oh, come on, man. We know that too.
I knew that his tear was not a tear of weakness. But if you come against Brother Curtis, I'm sorry.
Relief valve.
You got to come through me.
Allah gave us a relief
and if
valve.
you come against me, you got to deal with F5.
That's right.
And if you deal with any of the rest of us, we got to deal with, see, the devil don't like you because you love each other. It's not a problem for the devil if you all love Farrakhan and you don't love each other. But when you start loving the least of these, when you write the minister a letter, he said to me one day, he said, brother, I'm finished now, brothers. He told me, he said, brother, we was in Midway Airport in Chicago. And the minister said, he said, Millie, y'all can't call me that. Don't. But he said, brother, he said, do you? I brought y'all something too, but I wanted y'all to have these because these are for you. I'm gonna put them in my house, but they're for you. Okay,
yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, no problem. I'm just that kind of a guy. We were in the airport, and he said to me, he said, Jamil, when was the last time you wrote me a letter? Which was a report, an administrative report, and to either have disciplinary action taken or someone removed from their post. How long has it been since you wrote that letter? I said, there's Brother Vaughn. I see Brother Vaughn at the bottom of the screen. Good to see you, Brother Vaughn. DJ Rockwell. The minister said to me, he said, how long has it been? I thought. And then while I was thinking, he said, well, how long have you been with me? At that time, it was 20-something years. I told him, I said, but brother, I I can't remember sending a letter like that. And I was like, damn, I guess I should have done something for the administrative process to roll along and whatever. And as soon as I said, no, I hadn't did it, he burst out in a big smile. He said, praise be to Allah. He said, because I got a stack of letters this high on my desk, which is complaints. He said, but nobody ever writes me any good news. So, brothers and sisters, I'm giving you a challenge tonight on the JAKQ Brothers Show. Write the minister a letter of good news about a believer that you love, that you respect. Not somebody that's famous that he knows. He knows Brother Jamil. Certainly he knows Brother Sharif. He knows, right? Sister Nusaiba. He knows those great laborers all over the nation. He knows Sister Beverly and Brother Tim. He knows them. Brother Stanley. He knows them. Brother Dedrick. He knows them. But why don't you write him a letter? Say, Brother Minister, you may not have met this brother, but boy, this brother he get to check post every week on time. I love me some Brother Johnny 17. Thank you for teaching Islam and giving me a good friend like Brother Johnny. Thank you, Brother Minister. The Sister Gloretha that make that, because there's always some sister named Gloretha. She from Tumbleweed, Texas, but she Gloretha make that cream of wheat bread so good, Brother Minister. And I would never have met her if you hadn't taught me Islam. So thank you for giving us this wonderful teaching that's making us friends and loving each other throughout the nation. When he sees that, he smiles. His face brightens up.
Right.
And he feels confident about our ability to survive his physical absence and to go into the future with the resolve in mind that the nation of Islam will never fall again.
Yes, sir.
Never. Individuals may fall, but not our nation.
Come on now.
We're going to stand strong and tall with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and with each other. So the enemy don't care if you love him and hate each other. But when you start loving each other,
come on now,
that's when they got a problem with you.
That's right.
Show somebody some love. Surprise them. The people you've been beefing with, walk up to them and say, come on, let's go get a coffee, man. We can't beef no more. It's time for us to fall in love with each other as brothers.
Come on now. It's good teaching.
Huh?
It's good
the people that been disrespecting you. You say, I know you talked a little rough to me, and I talked a little rough to you. You jive time Maryland farmer. But at the end of it,
Maryland farmer.
Hug each other or something with those initials, whatever. But you hug each other. Hug your brothers. Hug it out. Sisters, embrace each other.
Come on.
Embrace each other.
Come on.
Praise Allah.
And don't let Brother Johnny 17 and Sister Gloretha have to do all the work.
That's right.
You help with the work.
Help with the work.
That's what we do.
Help with the work. Praise Allah. Thank you, Brother Minister. Brother Kadeem.
Praise be to Allah. I want to thank Brother Curtis for the call. You made that little levity, made it a little easier for me, brother. Because I got great love for you, Brother Minister Jamil.
Love you too, brother.
I mean, great love for you, brother. And I ain't got nothing to say. I love you, brother. Thank you for coming on the show.
Love you too. All praise be to Allah.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. That's what I'm talking about. But that's brotherhood right there. So,
right.
So that's what it is.
We want to say to our beloved listeners, we want to thank you all for hanging with us with the extra. We went, man, this was beautiful. This was love. This was necessary.
But Jackie,
yes, sir.
I apologize.
You want to go ahead?
We can give brother a bow tie.
Oh, absolutely. I got one for him.
Well, we got a JAKQ Brothers bow tie.
Yeah, we got it. We're gonna send
you a JAKQ Brothers.
Yes, sir. We got
it. I was on this Rodney Dangerfield kick, you know what I mean? No respect at all.
Yeah, we're gonna send you a JAKQ Brothers bow tie.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So we want to thank everyone, all of our listeners. We want to thank you. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did. I want to, if you don't mind, brother minister, I want to remind the believers what the instruction was. This is Surah 39, ayat 53. Say, O my servants, who have been prodigal regarding their souls, despair not of the mercy of Allah. Surely Allah forgives sins altogether. He is indeed the forgiving, the merciful. So in light of that scripture, and in the name of Allah, we thank you all for watching the JAKQ Brothers. We hope you enjoyed this show. And in the words of the scholar,
Wait.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
One more piece to the assignment.
Yes, sir.
Get 39 and 53. Get 4 and 147.
147. Yes,
and
sir.
Then go to your music. Some of y'all got YouTube on these fancy machines y'all got. Go get the long version, because you need the long version of the signature tune by Lattimore. Everybody know what that is.
Which one?
Everybody know Lattimore. Y'all know who Lattimore is?
We do know Lattimore. Let's work it out.
Let's straighten it out.
Let's straighten it out. Yes, sir.
I want y'all to listen to it. Listen to what Lattimore is saying.
Absolutely.
He said there's a certain way you got to communicate with the basis of love, right? Lattimore says, sit yourself down, girl, and talk to me. Tell me what's on your mind. Huh? Right? This is what we have to do. Sit down with each other. Talk. Talk about what's on our minds. Use the word of Allah, the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Holy Quran. Use expert other guidance that takes you into ways that you can find reconciliation, atonement, forgiveness, reunion. Follow the 8 steps. Don't make the minister ashamed that he's the #1 teacher of atonement in the history of the world, but the people who claim to follow him with X's and Muhammad's, headpieces, bow ties, national pins, and MGT bars don't believe in atonement at all. We fighting like cats and dogs. That ain't right.
That's right.
So let's get it together, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But Jackie,
well, in the words of our great scholar, DJ Khaled, another. So may Allah bless us all with the light of understanding as we greet you all in peace. Assalamu alaikum from the JAKQ Brothers.
Wa alaikum salam.
Now,